What's up, people of the internet? So, while most of you own or have ridden a CRF250, I don't expect that many of you have seen inside one. And I must admit, this is the furthest I've seen inside mine. But while we're here, I thought I'd point out a few things that you probably don't know. So I'll just throw it around on the bonnet of this priceless classic car and point out a few things. So, of course, I'm out here for the best light, but it's also by the biggest noise, the bloody road. But anyway, the CRF250 uses plain bearings. It doesn't use ball bearings for the crankshaft. It uses plain ones. Focus, a similar setup to a car. So that's even more reason why you should keep on top of your oil changes and keep that oil nice and fresh. Now what I'm going to do now is just try to wobble it around a bit and try and point something out. Now if you can see, the bearing normally is a grey colour. That's the coating. Underneath the tin metal coating is a layer of copper, and we can actually see a slight amount of copper showing through there. The same on the other side. But although that's not a knackered bearing, that is a bearing showing signs of wear. So, unfortunately, it means I'm going to have to change them as well as the crankshaft. Now, the fun part of that is, let me just tip this over, see if we can, there we go. Right, the fun part of that is it's split in two halves. It has to be pressed out from this side, and we've got basically about 1 millimeter, if that. We got about 1 millimeter of edge there. So I'm gonna have to get a obviously there's some specialist Honda tools, but I'm gonna have to get some made down the engineering shop. He's gonna love me. Every time I go in there, his face is like, oh no, not him again. So yeah, I'm going to have to get myself a pusher outer to push these bearings out, and then they've got to have a fancy affair. If I turn my camera, the bloody thing will spin around, and then everything will be on the piss then. So right, we then got to get a special tool which holds the bearing in a circular shape, while I slowly press it back into that hole, keeping the two halves of the bearings lined up with these marks. Now that is the simple bit. The curveball now is there's about 16 different bearings, and they all go on the size of this casing when it was made, and whatever size the bearings on the journal might be. Because obviously as the crankshaft wears down a bit, the gap gets bigger, so you can actually get a slightly bigger bearing to take up the wear in the crank. And that all involves a load of jiggery pokery and some factory colour codes, which should be on the casings. And I've got a sort of fetid looking green colour. Let's just bring this in and drop it just there. So on the other side here we got a sort of, the colour looks better through my camera than it does in real life, but we got a kind of fetish green or fetid green colour there, which doesn't show up in the workshop manual, which is great. Talking of workshop manuals, what happens if I do that? Nothing. That's where it's going to end up. Oh no, it's gone now. Yeah, alright. I was going to show you the workshop manual, but I've deleted it already. But yeah, so basically I've now got to work out what bearings I need once I've pressed them out of there. So there you go, little 5-minute insight into the inside of the CRF. Later then.